PSU Sports, sitting down once again with head coach Mark Pavlik. And Pav, I know we talk about it a lot. You say you have to defend home court here in the EIVA, but this past weekend, you had a couple big wins on the road. How was that for the morale of the team, and also to pick up a couple wins after a loss at home the previous weekend?
Anytime you can win down at Mason with a crowd probably the loudest that I can ever remember in my career down there, and to do it in the fashion that we did it, where we seemed to be clicking on all cylinders, and Cal Mendy had a great first game for us, and then they kind of spent their energy to try to shut him down in game two. Jalen came in and just played as disciplined games 3 and 4 as I've seen Jalen play. Then we continued that in the visit to Charleston, where kind of a trap match, so to speak, where you just come off a big win against Mason and you go in, and I was worried that we were going to just play as hard as they needed us to play, and I thought we stayed at a pretty high level for 95% of the match against Charleston and got out of there with the win there. So pretty good effort by the guys coming out of this travel weekend, and now we turn our attention to our upcoming weekend.
And what does it speak about the team when you have a big environment like that in Mason, and maybe the next game kind of lends itself to somewhat of a letdown, but they continue that high level of play?
Yeah, I think you're looking for competitive maturation to occur, and I think that's one of the big ones, where you come off of a big win, and one where it's an emotionally big win, and you quiet a crowd, and then you walk into a smaller crowd area, and you kind of think, well, okay, this is a young, inexperienced team we're facing. We don't have to go as hard as maybe we did last night. But the guys kept their level up there, and like I said, that's something we're looking for, and I think it's something that will serve their team pretty well as we go through the rest of the season here.
And speaking of that maturation process, have you noticed any team maturity in this couple-week span without Chris Nugent in the lineup?
No, not really. I think guys are just continuing to do what they've done. Aiden, God bless him, we put him in outside hitter, he performs well. We put him at middle, he performs well. We put him at opposite, he performs well. I'm sure if we would throw him into libero, he would do that well. And I think he's been on the court enough with everybody that he's just Aiden, which is a good thing. And I think our freshman setting is getting better and better. I think Luke is going through now half a season where he's getting it, and he's figuring out what he has to do to help his team become successful. So I think this is kind of the uphill climb that we've been looking for, and I think the exposure to a lot of things in January and certainly in February are starting to pay off for us.
And speaking to the weekend ahead, it's 2 out-of-conference matches kind of right in the middle of the conference slate. Does that pose any unique challenge to the team in any way?
No, it's really going to be part of a six match non-conference slate. This will start the weekend. We'll start it off with Santa Barbara and Stanford, and then we've got Cal Baptist in there, and then we got 3 MIVA teams coming in. So, I think it's just a break from the IVA. Out of conference, it's always interesting and fun to play those types of teams that are nationally ranked and along with us, and that they're going to come into Rec Hall. Santa Barbara is one of the first trips they've had here to play us. They were here for the 2011 national championships, but I'm trying to remember the last time Santa Barbara was in the gym, and might have to go back 5 or 6 years. Stanford has been here a number of times, and it's just nice to have those teams in our gym and get a chance to see the coaching staffs and talk with those guys, and bring high-quality men's volleyball to Pennsylvania. Hopefully the weekend before the boys' high school season is officially underway, we get some decent crowds from high school teams bringing their teams up to see.
And then for these two teams, obviously the whole out-of-conference slate, obviously you want to win every game you play, but with in-conference being the main focus for you guys at this point of the season, do you as a coach maybe try to tinker a little bit more with some things if you see fit?
Yeah, I think if we see fit, we do, because when you look at where we stand what our record is, who we've beaten, who we've lost to, we're not going to get a bye unless something really unbelievable happens. So we're going to be seated probably 5th or 6th. There's not a whole lot that's going to change from there. So we're looking at this as saying we have an opportunity to see where we stack up with some pretty good teams, 6 very good teams over the next 6 matches. Let's see if we can do some things against them that maybe can help us in our last 6 matches of the season down the stretch in the EIVA.
All right, well, Pav, good luck this weekend, and as always, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Jack.